What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ross the Boss coming at you with an all-new Let's Play Europa Universalis 4. We are going to be diving into a brand new campaign here, one that we are yet to actually show on stream. We're going to be playing as the Ottomans, of course, and our entire goal is to basically just expand as much as we possibly can. I want to spread into Europe. I want to really take over most of Asia. And of course, if we have time, we are going to be claiming provinces down here in India and maybe even the Spice Islands as well. As of right now, the Ottomans are probably going to be one of the most powerful countries in the game, and they are only going to be growing far more superior with every passing year that goes by. Another thing I wanted to point out, if you click on the country view option and then look at our current religion, our state religion is actually Sunni. While looking at the religious map mode, you can see there is a great schism here in the Ottoman territories. The eastern parts of Turkey are mostly Sunni, while the western part of Greece and Bulgaria, they are primarily Orthodox. And the reason why this is so bad is my primary goal for this campaign is to neither take Orthodox or Sunni. I'm going to be playing a new, not necessarily new, but a religion that I have never really experienced before firsthand. I'm going to be starting, or at least trying to play a Coptic religion. Now, if you notice on our political map mode, I don't have a single Coptic religion here inside the Ottoman territory. So in order to try to spring up some sort of Coptic revolutionaries, I'm going to need to take over a variety of provinces, most likely in Aquanalu and Quaraquanalu. Excuse my pronunciation. But if we could somehow spring these Coptic rebels, we are going to see some very, very nice bonuses here that are not necessarily any stronger than the Sunni bonuses, but they have a variety of better flavors as time goes on. Now, I'll go into detail about what those, traits are. But essentially, there are 5 very powerful Coptic cities that are not controlled by the Coptic religion. If we are going to, become Coptic, I believe there are Antioch, Alexandria. I know they have different pronunciations because we're Ottoman. If you look down here, I believe there is another Coptic province down here, and there is another Coptic province, I believe it is Yerevan. And the entire goal is for each province we take over, not just us, but every Coptic nation in the world. So Ethiopia, everybody is going to be gaining some very, very powerful bonuses. And that's going to be something that we've never really experienced before, even on stream. So without further ado, let's dive in. The very first thing that we want to do is establish our rivals. And I went ahead, and if we look at our government map mode, our diplomacy map mode, you can see here that we have a variety of enemies, and I've already gone ahead and selected my rivals. We have Byzantium, Hungary, Lithuania, and the Mamluks. Unfortunately enough, I was hoping the Mamluks would not rival me, but it looks like they have. Now, I know for a fact I'm going to be taking over Byzantium fairly soon. I will be waging war against Venice, so right from the get-go, I declared Byzantium and Venice as part of my rivals. But my third rival could have been practically anyone. I was thinking about rivaling the Mamluks, but I figured my best opportunity to become Coptic would be to declare Quaraquanalu here as a rival and try to take over all of their Coptic provinces and spring a religious revolution here in our favor. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current Sultan. We have a very, very powerful leader, a 556. The maximum skill we could ever have in the game would be a 666 general, and it looks like a 666 ruler, and it looks like our very first trait, he is a conqueror, giving us a -5 years of separatism as we begin to take over newer provinces, which means it is less likely that we are going to be getting rebels, though, I mean, we are obviously going to be seeing rebels, but they aren't necessarily going to be spawning as often, which is very, very nice indeed. That will save us quite a bit of manpower and allow us to essentially spread further and farther. Let's go ahead and set up our advisors. You can see here that we have a variety of advisors available. We have level 2 advisors and level 1 advisors. We are going to go ahead and try to get some level 1 advisors, primarily because you can see here that our level 1 advisors are by far the weakest, but they're also the most cost effective. Now, primarily you're going to see a exponential increase in cost as time goes on. You know, you can see here that 1 plus 1 equals 2, but obviously this is only 2 gold or 2 ducats every single month. As time goes on, a level 2 advisor might actually cost 4 ducats, and of course a level 3 advisor might cost 16 ducats. So paying 1 ducat versus 16 ducats is by far the most cost effective method of control. So what we want to do is, I don't really need a theologian, but I think we're going to get him because we don't really want to, spend some ducats on retiring advisors. A theologian isn't bad, but, I think it's not necessarily that great either, at least for where we stand. Now, I am going to be unlocking the diplomat, spending 16 ducats and unlocking Pavel Shishman, giving us better improved relations. And looking at our military advisor, I definitely would like Simeon Stratmivovic. He is a commandant, giving us some extra discipline, which not only improves the attack, but also the defense of all of our troops. Looking at our current missions, I have a variety to choose from. Improve our prestige, which is currently very, very weak as it is. The rival of our rival, I could make the Timurids' opinion of us at least 100, and I think I will do that. But my definite most important mission I could ever pursue would be the City of the World's Desire. The last orders of the Great Prophet were to send forth the warriors of the faith to bring the Romans into the house of submission. We must do what no other Gaza has done and conquer the city in the name of the prophet. So basically, we are going to go after Constantinople, who is currently owned by the last regiment of Byzantium, which of course are the Romans. Byzantium is not only in Constantinople, they do own Achaia here and Morea. Now also, you can see that Byzantium has a vassal known as Athens, so if we are to go to a war with Byzantium, Athens will surely fall in line. Without further ado, let us also, I don't think I'm going to be converting any provinces to Sunni. Obviously, Sunni is my state religion, but if I were to convert some of these provinces, not only would I lose income because, missionaries cost money to utilize, but also what I want to do is not get any debuffs in some of these provinces. So if you see Vidin here, they are Orthodox. If I was to convert them to Sunni, I would get a very small debuff here for either 20 or 30 years, basically saying Sunni zealots or Orthodox zealots, and we won't be able to change the missionary effectiveness for about 20 or 30 years. So obviously I don't really want that to happen. It really prevents religions from flip-flopping all over the place. City of the World's Desire, if we conquer Constantinople, we will get some legitimacy, of course, and having a very powerful province, 23 development compared to something like Vidin with 9. Don't think I'm going to be converting any provinces to Sunni. I have claims we do not own. Let's take a look at our national decisions available. I could adopt the Derbyshire system, giving me 10% national manpower modifier for the rest of the game. Now, obviously, this is a way to ensure that the Ottomans are very, very powerful, given to them by the developers. So, obviously, we're going to take the 10% improved manpower modifier for the rest of the game. It's going to cost us a little bit now, but it'll certainly be well worth it as the game progresses on. Adopt the title of Khalifa. Now, we are going to be gaining some yearly prestige every single year and also gaining some piety. I'll explain what piety is in a moment because there are no negative issues here. Obviously, accepting the title of Khalifa is a very prestigious move. Denouncement of sect practices. Ottomans get denouncement of sect practices until the death, giving the following effects: -1 national unrest. I will absolutely take this as well for the time being. And without further ado, it doesn't look like there's much left. I am going to declare war on Byzantium. Unfortunately, I can't do so until the 11th of December. Because I have 237 gold, I would like to go ahead and produce some mosques, giving us some local tax modifier, but unfortunately I'm not able to do that until I finally spend some administrative power. Finally unlocking our very first administrative technology once we unlock about 598 administrative power. Hopefully our advisors will bring us there soon enough. Let me take one of my diplomats, send you over to the Timurids. I don't think we're going to be able to secure an alliance, but I want to do everything in my power to ensure that the Timurids like me. Also, Crimea might be a very good ally. Either Poland as well. I don't think Poland will want to ally me, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to improve relations. And it looks like we've also already passed the 11th of December. Let us go ahead and declare war. We are going to be declaring on Wallachia as well, which is fine and okay. As my troops begin to secure their positions, let me go ahead, take all of these units, move them into the Sea of Marmara, and assign generals wherever possible. And just like that, let's dive into this campaign. We are going for the Conquest Casus Belli, take Constantinople. I'm also going to be securing a quick province from Wallachia as well. And let us declare war. You move here. You 14,000 will easily destroy these 8,000. Looks like we won a naval battle. And just like that, we have demolished both armies without seeing any type of actual resistance. You all don't need to be here. You all can move here. You all can move here. So for the time being, we're basically splitting up our horses. And obviously the reason why we're doing that is attrition will take place no matter what. But if we could somehow move them to provinces that don't require attrition or don't cost attrition, we won't lose horses or cavalry units every single month. And the reason why we don't want to lose cavalry units over our normal infantry units is because cavalry costs 2.5 times as much. And if we can, let's take the rest of our units that aren't required, which are just some cavalry units, and we'll move them into provinces. They will no longer take attrition because we obviously own these provinces as well. Okay, so far we have a naval blockade. I believe so. Yep, looks like we do. On Constantinople, we are currently sieging down as well, getting a supply shortage. They have a negative 36% chance of surrender. And, of course, we are working on getting a separate piece from Wallachia, not only taking all of their gold, and also taking a nice, what's the term I'm looking for? I believe it is war reparations from Wallachia, gaining 10% of all of their income for the next 10 years. Really what I want to do is secure another province without taking too much, but it will give us a very nice foothold to basically secure this region with. The encroachment of the Umera. Let us go ahead and look at our estates map mode. The Umera is the nobility. We also have the Ulema, the Merchants Guild, and the Daimi. It's hard to monitor everyone everywhere all the time, and the boundaries between individual land properties are often grounded in old traditions or documents written when the landscape may have looked quite different. For someone with the right resources, this can be exploited. A number of prominent Umera families have used their considerable influence in Edirne to get away with expanding their properties considerably. If we want to protect the property of the state, we must act soon. Edirne. Okay, we could either let it slide, will come under the control of the Umera, increasing their influence by 18.1, or we could tank their loyalty. I think right now the Umera, I don't want negative loyalty, but having better influence isn't necessarily all that bad. So we're going to let it slide for the time being. We don't want the influence to go above 80%. Obviously, we are allowing the game to tick on while we siege down. We don't want any of the influence of our estates to overthrow our government through a coup, and that will only happen if they have above 80%. Loyalty, on the other hand, is really good. We would like the loyalty to be as high as possible, but unfortunately, with high loyalty, we are essentially giving them money or giving them power, which is nice to have high loyalty, but at the same time, it's really kind of taking away our, ability to grow. So it's important to find a nice balance between the two. On the other hand, we also have land. This is certainly a percentage of the amount of land that is currently owned by our estates. Having too little land could anger the merchant guilds or the Umera, and their loyalty will tank if they don't have enough land. As far as I know, you can't have too much land, so I don't think loyalty will ever go up high enough if they have, a lot of the control. Essentially what would happen before that, their influence would, go way, way up, and before that number would even hit, they would have a coup, and we would be in a disaster. So let us go ahead and look at Wallachia. We have currently sieged down all 3 of their provinces. We have a 99% war score. I would love to take all of their provinces, but obviously I gotta watch my aggressive expansion. We're going to take Buzao here. This is going to give me 36 aggressive expansion for just 1 province. Obviously, we don't have a claim here, and it is a separate piece, so this is technically costing me double the aggressive expansion. But we're also going to take all of your money, which doesn't cost any aggressive expansion. And we are going to ask for war reparations. And just like that, we are going to... I could also take Oltenia. Let's take a look at both of these provinces. Ooh, 10 development, and it produces wool. Versus 13 development, and it produces grain. I think we're obviously going to take Buzao here. Go to our Wallachia, once again, 160 ducats. War reparations, and end it as such. And we do have to be aware. Let's make a core here. We do have 8.9 unrest, but what is nice is our ruler is a conqueror, so we have negative 5 years of separatism. So that would have been positive 15, but instead it is positive 12.5. So that is kind of nice. Let's bring the rest of our units down. We're going to conquer what we can. And if everything goes according to plan, we're going to take all of Byzantium and Athens and basically secure this entire front for the Ottomans. And then our next war will most likely be against Aquanalu, trying to secure our Coptic, provinces to the best of our ability. Let's send these 3,000 cavalry units to Athens. I'm assuming there is a fortress here, and there is. I should actually say castle, because the fortresses have not been invented yet. Moldavia has now been designated into a vassal. Normally, they are a march, so I believe Poland took a stability hit. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen later on. Those underhanded rogues in Serbia have the gall to claim Vidin as their own. Well, that's not going to happen, and it looks like they are hostile to me. We are slowly improving our relations with Crimea. They are currently at war with Theodoro, and it looks like Theodoro's winning because they are allied with Trebizond, but that doesn't make sense. Crimea is definitely going to win. We have won the siege of Constantinople. Just like that, we are slowly securing our war goal. And from now on, starting on the 1st of next month, because we technically own our objective, which was to conquer Constantinople, we are going to be gaining more war score every single month as the war ticks on. The reason why that's so important is even though if we lose some up-and-coming battles because we do own the actual war goal, this number is going to tick all the way to positive 25, which is very, very nice indeed. So even if there is a stalemate, you can see that a lot of our score will continue to tick up and onward. All right, well, looks like I am going to go ahead and put a cut to this episode. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in our next adventure.